something that they do currently every year, they do the Halloween Frosty coupon book, which you can go to Wendy's and it's $1 and you get 10 Frosty coupons to give out to your trick-or-treaters. And so, one, the kids are really excited about their Frosties, and two, they have information like their website on them so that you can go and look to see what you're actually benefiting. So if you think you're going to have trick-or-treaters, you can just run by and grab some Frosty coupons before that day comes up. But that actually ends our presentation.
Thank you for your time.
Not personally, but I've read some of the success stories, and they're really, really interesting. One of the ones that we saw, they actually adopted 6 children on one day, on National Adoption Day, and the oldest was 7. So they had a 7-year-old, and then a set of twins, and then like infants. It was really, really cool. Yeah.
I don't know if you know this, but why is it that, I mean, I've heard that like people adopt from internationally because sometimes it's difficult to adopt within the United States.
I think that's another one of the myths.
Yeah.
The international adoption, I feel like that happens a lot because A, it's trendy. A lot of celebrities do that. Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt. And B, you're like guaranteed an infant, which a lot of other families are worried about.
Yeah.
That's actually one of the problems that Dave Thomas Foundation was trying to tackle with the kids being like, I'm not too old. A lot of families would rather have an infant and just, either tell them they're not adopted, and then tell them later in life, or, raise an overseas baby.
And not only that, but you see these places, in different areas of the world, you see a lot of commercials for them, a lot of, help support this child. If it's not adoption, help support them this way. And obviously our foundation uses a lot of social media because that's what's trending today to really get North America aware of what's going on instead of these commercials, because that's just, social media is number one way to really get everybody aware.
And they're trying to get the children here adopted instead of bringing in other countries' children, which is great. Like, adoption is wonderful regardless, but what they're focused on is the foster care children who are going to live their entire lives without ever having a permanent home.
Right.
They want them to know that here and have their American family or Canadian family and kind of get that experience, even though whatever tragic event took them away from their families happened, they still want to be raised in a family and be loved and have Thanksgiving and have Christmas and have brothers and sisters.
Say like a Canadian family were to adopt someone from the foundation, would they be like considered? Wait, they can do that, right?
Yeah.
They can adopt an American child.
It's North American.
Yeah, and it's all North America, including Canada and the U.S.
Right.
And they're doing it in 3 provinces in Canada. So the Dave Thomas Foundation actually began just in America, but since then has actually expanded to Canada, which is shows their growth of success with this foundation.
Any other questions?
What was the name of the public relations agency that did Word?
Paul Word.
And did they do it for free?
Yeah, they did it for free, and they worked with a really limited budget, as you could see. It was under $200,000 for all of it. So it kind of promotes itself with the companies. Every company wants to be #1 regardless of what it is, unless it's like a negative poll. But so for Adoption Friendly Workplace, everyone's still fighting to be #1. Like, the Wendy's is obviously pretty far up there because of the whole Dave Thomas Foundation, but the rest, you could see there was a ton of ties, and they're all competing to raise their time leave, their paid leave off, and everything like that, just to get higher on the list.
Another reason they were able to make this campaign so successful on such a short budget is because they got people involved. They got people to basically do the work for them. You know what I mean? They provided so many resources, free resources. Like, you could download get 1,000 copies of these posters and these advertisements shipped to your house for free for you to go put up. They really just made local communities get active. They could plan their own events. They had access to so many resources that the Dave Thomas Foundation made available for them to go do it themselves.
And Caroline, to expand when you asked if we know anybody that been adopted through the foundation. I mean, usually that's somebody has to approach you and say that they've done that. You know, a lot of people don't want to say necessarily about adoption because they don't want their kid to find out until a later age, or because they could be too young to even realize it really sometimes. So no, that's something that's, you know, they would have to be out in the open. But I mean, if you know anybody, National Adoption Day is coming up on November 17th, which is only, you know, a little less than, or a little more than a week away. So you can always promote that and help out the foundation and eat some Frosties. Yeah. Any more questions?
Thank you very much. Thank you.